I finally got my Girl with the Dragon Tattoo trilogy set in today, and it's so
This
pretty.
is the original one, the Swedish one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so like the spine. It looks like the book spine.
Oh, okay, that's
The
cool.
box does.
Yeah,
Oh, it's so pretty.
nice. Yeah, I have.
I need to read the second and third books.
Oddly, I have not seen any of them, and that is odd for me because I know it's right up my alley.
It is. It's
I
like
just
it's
haven't
got
such a
around
good
to it.
series.
Yeah.
I won a competition, and it was the Blu-ray of the Fincher film, and then the book. So,
So the
Oh,
original
nice.
book.
so I read,
Yeah.
so I read the book, watched the film, loved it.
Yeah.
Watched the Swedish one, and I was like, yeah, this is great, but Rooney Mara is a better Lisbon.
Yeah.
Well, now see,
with
one can
passes.
one cannot not help but wonder if you had seen them the other way around, and the other
That's what I
being
thought.
the
I
first
thought that
experience.
might have been it, but
Yeah.
I do think having read the book and having a more of a
In
deeper
terms
understanding
of
of the character.
I see.
And I'm
Yeah.
not even saying that the Swedish version is bad. It's just
Yeah.
great, but like I just think Rooney Mara in the Fincher film just completely embodied that
So
character.
more true to
fucking
the
No, I agree.
one from the book. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I'd like to see both, and it's one case where, from what I understand, they're both equally good. Both.
The only thing
versions,
I don't
just
like about the
different
Fincher
ways.
one
Yeah.
is, the only thing I don't like about the Fincher one is that it's that classical thing of like, it's a Swedish story, so they set it in Sweden and everyone's speaking English in
Perfect
Swedish
English.
accent.
Yes.
Yeah.
except for Daniel Craig, who just couldn't even be bothered. Like he's got the same he's got the Swedish name and everything, but
Yeah.
he's just like, yeah, just speaking normal. I'm not gonna bother with that.
Yeah, basically.
Like, fuck it.
That is definitely a conceit. And, for example, with that's one thing I'm wondering how it's going to sit with me in particular with the new version of Shogun, because in a lot of cases they have the Japanese characters, from what I've seen in the trailers anyway, speaking perfect English. And I'm like, oh, that's a shame. But then they have scenes where they're speaking like Japanese, and I'm like, oh, okay, but strange. I'm gonna just have to see it, because in the original, as I've touted many a time, the Japanese characters only speak Japanese. The only one that speaks any English at all is the guy's translator that he, has the hots for. But that's it. And even her, it's like very kind of broken English, like it's not her first language. So, and further to that, all of the Japanese dialogue is not subtitled in the original Shogun, because you're supposed to be experiencing it. This is the way the main character experiences it. You learn as he learns. It's actually very cleverly done. Because at no point do you feel lost, like you don't know what's going on. Like I remember I was watching it and just, getting right into it. And it didn't even occur to me until I was literally like 3 minutes into the scene. I'm like, wait a minute. There's not a single English-speaking character in this scene. It's all Japanese characters, all just having this very lively conversation in Japanese, and I'm like picking up the gist of what they're saying, like what they're, not the words obviously, but you get what the conversation is about and what they're angry about or whatever. It's just, yeah, great shit. So I was, in that respect, I was a little disappointed to see that in the new one the Japanese dialogue is subtitled. I feel that takes away something from what the original experience was. So, call me a
Fair
purist if you want. I don't know, but I recommend the old one if you like the new one.
I have it on Blu-ray. Still not watched it.
The 1980 one. That would be a good one to watch. Quite a cast in that. You're gonna recognize a lot of faces.
Oh yeah. It's a bit of an aside, but kind of adjacent to what you're talking about. In Showa, there's lots of different people interviewed, and the director, Claude Lanzmann, he doesn't speak all the languages, so he has a translator with him. But in the film, he chooses to leave in the parts where the translator is translating, and you don't have subtitles for it.
Interesting.
And initially I'm like, oh my god, this is just gonna drag everything out so much, But there's so much in like people's faces when they're stood there just waiting around for the next. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and especially when they're talking about the Holocaust, and it actually ends up being a really interesting device, I think.
Yes, because you're able to fully focus on their faces, even though you don't understand the words right away. Whereas if you were reading subtitles, you'd be missing some of that nuance, you know.
Perhaps, yeah, but it's not throughout the film. There's stuff in English as well. It's quite a mix, but like, I just thought that was quite interesting. Yeah,
no, it's neat when they sort of break convention like that, but still convey things. Yeah, I thought that was quite a bold choice for 1980 network television.
Yeah.
almost a little highbrow. But it did not impact the ratings at all. If anything, you know, more people watched. But it was a pretty big hit when it came out. Starring the miniseries king, Richard Chamberlain. Yeah, him and Peter Strauss were like those two guys you always saw in the NBC miniseries event or whatever. Always them. Anyway, I was gonna.
It does bug me though.
Yeah.
Oh, go on. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I just like I watched the recent Ridley Scott film, The Last Duel.
Okay.
So it's like, I think 1400s France. You got like Ben Affleck, Adam Driver, you know, it's a great cast, but they're all doing kind of like weird English accents.
Okay.
French.
Interesting.
Let's just do an old-timey Englishy accent. Like, I don't know.
So is that supposed to? We're hearing the English, but the accent is the clue that they're speaking in their language. See, that's why I remember Doctor Who being criticized in a similar fashion. It's like, how come every alien planet they go, they speak perfect English?
Yeah.
It's like, or they go into the past, into another like part of the world where they wouldn't have been speaking English. You know, ancient Aztecs speaking perfect British English. But they later had created a canonical solution to that. And it's like, oh, no. You're hearing English, but because you've been traveling in the TARDIS is actually translating for you. So, yeah. It's kind of like the Babel fish, I guess. Their version of the Babel fish.
You know how they explained that in the new Avatar films? I tell you that.
No.
So there's like a montage at the beginning of Jake's kids growing up, and they're like arguing with each other in like Navi, and in Jake's narration, he's just like, you know, it took me a few years to master the language, but after a while, it all just started sounding like English to me. And then, as his kids are arguing, it moved. The subtitles literally fade away, and their dialogue transitions mid-speech into English. So it's Jake's kind of, you know.
That's a good way to explain it. Yeah.
Because they go and visit this other tribe who wouldn't know English. You know.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Interesting. But yeah. So that kind of thing I've always found interesting. It's like you can always find a, you know, kind of clever way to get you in that headspace. But anyway, I gotta check out the new Shogun. I like samurai stuff.